Did you know that there's a way to approach camels without seeming like a threat to them? Not only does this way show the camel that you're not an imposter, but you're also asking to come into their personal space. Asking to come into a camel's personal space is important because it shows the camel respect, and when you show camels respect, they show it back tenfold. The way to approach a camel is all about your intentions. If you're walking fast, like you're in a hurry, the camel will sense this and become agitated. Camels have an excellent ability to judge fear and act accordingly. Camels often judge their fear before making a decision about what to do next. So if you're personally feeling fearful, more often than not, so too will the camel. But what we've noticed is that camels can determine the type of fear that a person is feeling. Like, for instance, they can sense an uncertainty you might have about them if you're walking into a paddock with them or approaching them from afar. The camel will either call your bluff and act on your fear through biting, regurgitating on you, or kicking, or some camels will simply just accept the fact that you need to peel back some of your onion layers of fear and they just accept you for where you're at. All this really depends on how the camel is raised, handled, and trained. The way to correctly approach a camel, as the nice, loving human being that you are, is similar to how you'd introduce yourself to a dog. Simply put up the back of your hand towards the camel's nose to allow the camel to sniff you. Camels have an excellent and sensitive sense of smell, and this is how they determine things from this or that. Ever heard the saying, they can smell fear? It's true for camels too. After allowing the camel to sniff the back of your hand, they might come in for more sniffs around your face, which can seem intimidating, them having such big jaws, and that's near your head, but both confident and nervous camels can do this, and the only way to truly know this is to know the camel. And a warning here, if you know for a fact that a camel gets fed hand treats or gets fed treats, we recommend playing on the cautious side because camels can get very possessive about their treats. A quick hand sniff should suffice your introduction to a camel that gets fed treats. So you've got your hand and maybe your head sniff too, then what? There is another way to desensitize the camels so you can begin to handle them, put a halter on them or a head stall and start working with them, but without the camel feeling surprised by your actions. So the next step is to reach up to the camel's head from the side, not from the front, and touch, not scratch, behind the ear. You'll notice one of two things. The ear will twitch or it won't. If it twitches, you know that the camel feels comfortable around you and that it's ready to be with you. If it doesn't twitch, it can mean one of two things. One, he's already desensitized, or two, he's not feeling comfortable with you yet. The way to know the difference between the above two is to look in the camel's eyes. Or shall I say glance at the camel's eye, as eye contact can be intimidating for some camels, especially young, unhandled or untrained camels. If the eye is wide and bulging, it's likely they are feeling scared. If the eye looks calm and soft, it's likely they're feeling comfortable with you. Always remember to maintain a safe distance away from camels' front legs. A good rule to remember is use the length of their legs to determine your distance from them, as that's how far they can kick. And yes, camels can kick with their front and back legs. And finally, if you want to be really sure, and we only recommend this for camels that have been handled and trained, and only recommend this for the handlers who usually train their camels or handle their camels. The next step is to run your hand gently down the front leg while you're standing to the side and touch the sensitive part between the start of the leg bone and their body. Again, this might twitch or it might not, which by now you know there are two meanings to this. If they don't twitch, it could mean they are already comfortable with you. Remember, look at the eye. If they do twitch, then they are ready to be with you.
Are you a new camel owner or are you considering owning camels? Look no further for an alternative, gentle camel training method. Forget all the heavy-handed and dominance-based camel training styles. We'll show you another way. Get camel confident with your camel handling and training skills. Get our free camel training videos and ebook over at AustralianCamels.com.